This is week 8 for the winter trimester, and I'm really pleased with how I'm developing this painting. So I'm going to go day by day on what I did to develop this painting, so when I start my next painting, I can remember what I did in these stages, so then I can really build off them for my next one. So on Monday, I already had the background blocked in pretty well as a cool gray, and I had the shadows that the model's casting on the background, and then also the lighter plane that she's resting on the floor. And I wanted to start getting a better sense of light on the figure and also look like the figure is really within the space that I've already created by painting in the background. So I started with the shadows, and I wanted to make sure that the shadows that are on the figure have a really good relationship, or the same relationship that they do with the background in life. So I started there, and then I worked out totally on all the dark areas. So with her legs, making sure that the legs were dark enough and made sense. Also the rib cage that's under the left armpit and the left breast I darkened, her arm on the right, and also her neck. And so all those areas are the shadows and the really dark tones. So I wanted to make sure all of those had a good relationship with the background. And also I was really focused on edge quality too. I wanted to make sure that where there was found edges, that there were the sharper edges that I put in, and then also lost edges where the edges kind of like dissipated atmospherically into the background. Okay, and then for Tuesday I already had the dark values established, so I needed to start in the lights and work out from there. And on Catherine, the lightest areas are her shoulders and her chest. And so, but when I first started painting that, I actually made the mistake of mixing up a color that was too bright. You can't see it in the painting right now because I corrected it, but it was looking. What I did was I took the highlights that are on her shoulders and breasts, and I mixed up that value, and it was way too bright to put over that really general plane of light area. So what ended happening was it just looked really, well, it looked wrong. Like that area it was so bright it kind of looked like it was cut out, like it wasn't making sense in the environment. And also looked really chalky. So I mixed up the area by taking an average of the whole broad area instead of the specific highlight, and I corrected it that way. And on Wednesday I spent that whole day just working on the portrait and the size of the head. And it's too big. It's way too big. And I think it's a danger too with working in one area for a whole day, that you can get so sucked into that area that you can forget to be comparing it to everything else. So there's still a lot of good lessons learned with painting the portrait, like bringing out transitions and other things like that, but I'm gonna have to completely repaint it because it's way too big. And on Wednesday, I ended up getting really sick. By the end of the day, I had to leave school early in the afternoon portion during the cast part because I got a really bad migraine. And then Thursday I woke up and I still had the migraine, and I still wanted to go to school and at least do the figure portion because I don't want to miss any figure days. So I went to school, and I think I was there for probably not even 2 minutes, and I was like, I can't do it. It was just too bad. I couldn't like focus on anything, so I ended up just having to go home, which kind of sucked because I really wish I could have painted the figure, but what are you gonna do? But on Friday I felt completely better, so I went to school. For the figure session then, I knew I needed to repaint the head, but I kind of liked how I had the head put in anyway. It was kind of, I thought it was done well. It was too big and I knew I had to repaint it, but I think I wasn't ready yet to completely destroy it. So what I started doing was, I knew that I needed to get the midsection then more sculpted like the rest of her. So I started working from the darks to the lights around the torso and the arms to really start sculpting that area. But when Magda came by for the Friday critique, she said that I need to save that for later, and the more important thing was working on the portrait, which I knew I had to do anyway. So she actually showed me a method for correcting the portrait then, and that was just starting in the lights and just getting the big basic planes of the shape and correcting it that way to try and get the size corrected that way. So I ended up repainting everything, and as I'm sure you can probably see, the head is now way too small, so I really overdid it by shrinking the head. the head's too small, the head's too big, the head's too small. I don't know. Friday, I was really frustrated at the end of this figure session because I feel like kind of like lost the nice transitions, and I don't know. I'll fix it on Monday. On Monday I'll make the head just right. But what I really want to take away from this week is what I think is making this a really successful painting compared to my last one. I'm really working on transitions. Okay, and for my cast drawing, so I've been getting pretty far on this cast drawing. I was thinking that maybe Friday I'd be getting passed on this to start or transfer this onto the painting then. So I was just, I worked on it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I worked on it for half the time because I got sick, and then I worked on it Friday. So I was just really focusing on really getting everything more accurate, and as I was getting things more figured out, I was starting to see that something was wrong with the drawing. It's like I could tell that it's like the top part of the cast, like the head and the hair, wasn't making structural sense with how the lower half of the face was matching up with it, and I couldn't really figure out what was going on, but something really felt off. Magda came by on my Friday critique, and she was like, yeah, something looks weird, or something looks off. So she was standing there for a long time just staring at the cast and my drawing of the cast and trying to figure out what it was. And then she told me, she figured it out, and what it happened was it's like so the top part and the hair is the correct size, but the lower part of the face, I don't know how it like warped into this smaller version of itself. Instead of working on the whole thing size, I must have started doing comparative measuring only on half of it or something. I don't know how I did this. And so anyway, she told me to just be like really reactive, trust my eye, and just be working on correcting the light shape and making sure that the light shape is big enough, and to re-simplify things. So it's like, okay, so for the rest of the day Friday, I was really focused on that with correcting it, and I started losing control with it, and I think I started panicking too, because I was like, oh, I just want to get it done so I can start painting it, and I want it to be correct, but I think I might have been moving too fast, and I don't know what happened on Friday, but I feel like I really messed up this drawing. Yeah, I just feel kind of really disappointed and frustrated with it, because well, Matt and Magda, they both really warned me on this cast that it's going to be really challenging, which it has been, to draw, and I know that my time at Ravenswood is limited, so I want to be like, keep moving along in the program so I can be learning everything that I can while I'm going to be still here in Chicago. So I hope I don't regret picking this more challenging project. But whatever happens, come Monday's a new day, and I'm going to go in there and just work really hard on correcting it and trying to correct all the mistakes that I made on Friday, and really push myself and just get everything. I know I can do it, so I'm just gonna work on getting it accurate, and then hopefully I can move on to transferring this into a painting.